Let's get this over to the chatting. Alrighty, let's see here. Hello, hello! I am back after a little bit of a hiatus. Really can't call it a hiatus. Um, Last week we had a holiday here in Japan known as Obon, which is one of those difficult to define holidays that's more wrapped up in Japanese culture. Um, I know that if you, maybe 10, 20 years ago, if you looked at a textbook, it'd be like, Obon is something like the American Thanksgiving, which it's not even close. I think all they're really going for is that it's a time to get together with family. So that's what my wife and my son and we did. We went out and saw some family over our long 5-day weekend and some coffee. So I was off and away. It did mean that I didn't do any play-by-post updates. I didn't do any conversion, and generally just saw family. Visited some graves, and paid respects to our ancestors, which is a very nice time. I think not to do the like apples to oranges of comparison between holidays, but sorry, I just saw something. Anyway, one of the better holidays to compare it to would be like Korean Chuseok, which I believe also is one of those things that's like it's like the American Thanksgiving when it's not. Anyway, so let's talk Pathfinder. Let me switch over to the tab here. All right, here we are. So, this to-do list is quite old and outdated at this point. So, we are nearly finished with Bullywug's Gambit. I know that we started on the Sea Wyvern's Wake, which was really nice and fun, but it was kind of irresponsible of me to sort of trying to start getting a jump start on that and just thinking, oh, I'll have all this free time to just go back and convert some of the easier stuff on my own. I don't have free time, as it turns out. I should probably say, next week, my wife is going to be going to the hospital, and we're going to be having our second son, which is incredibly exciting. But as you can imagine, it does leave us pretty busy at the moment. So I don't know what the stream's going to be like next Thursday, if there will be one, because my wife will be in the hospital on Friday having a C-section, and we're going to have our new baby boy. And Lord knows what's going to happen after that. I think, already my time is at a premium, so to speak. I did the math and I was like, oh, if I want to do any conversion stuff, I pretty much have to do it on stream because I'm pretty busy. All right. So let's take a look. Speaking of converting, things we did do. Actually, I want to look at this more. We left off just arriving into the Vanderborn Manor. Which, the more I think about it, is a set piece that I enjoy. It's interesting. I don't think we've discussed this. Let's look at the manor itself. Because I recently ran into this problem running a Dark Archive game. So, Vanderborn Manor, you supposedly, I think this is the only option you have, is to enter from the front, and then you have all of these branching pathways to go. Okay? I almost exclusively play with people that when they enter into a dungeon of any sort, they're going to go through every nook and cranny, and everything that's in here, we're going to kill them off, we're going to loot everything. We are 100% completionist, which is not the way that 3.5 handled things, and it's also one of the reasons why I run milestone leveling, is I don't want players feeling they left anything on the table. And Vanderborn Manor, you're not really supposed to go around looting your employer's manor. So, what this manor does is essentially give everybody like a choose-your-own-adventure sort of how you will arrive to rescue Lavinia. From a narrative sense, the players would probably likely just want to go in, make sure Lavinia is safe first and foremost, and then clear out the place. Um, Obviously, they don't know where she is, I believe. Here, she's on the second floor. Which of these rooms? I think room 27 feels correct. First floor. Oh, this uses... This is the first time I realized this is using the English method. The ground floor, the first floor, and the second floor. So for us Americans, and also Japanese, I'd like to note, third floor up here. Uh, so players be able to climb up these steps immediately. Like if they knew the layout, which they do, they know the layout. They could speed run this, so to speak. Run up the steps, run up the second set of steps to Lavinia's room. Boom, done. You get the big, like, call off the fight right away, which is not a bad way to handle. I think it's actually very narratively interesting. It does make a lot of other parts problematic, but not hugely so. Ooh. For instance, if my players ran up, got right into Lavinia, they go to the first mate, Dravagraz, I forgot his name, but then say, hey, this is all a mistake. We got to call this off. And he's like, oh, you're right. You know, you've got her Marlith earring. We do have to call this off. And Boagorg, the shaman, is like, no, I will fight you to the death. The bullywugs are already invested. As a GM, I'd say, look, the first mate maybe saying, we're not doing this anymore, but the bullywugs don't care, and you've likely killed their shaman. And now it's rescuing the Jade Ravens, which makes a different story, but it still allows the players to keep exploring the manor and getting the most out of the dungeon, so to speak. I know it's weird calling it a dungeon, but we really don't have better nomenclature for it. It is a dungeon crawl in a sense. Now, to compare this to the Dark Archive game that I just ran. No spoilers, but there are, if you buy the Dark Archive book for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, each chapter, not each chapter, but many of the chapter, I'm like, how particular can I be? Essentially, each chapter has a little mini adventure to go with it. And some are really strong and really cool and great. And after that sip of coffee, I'm sure you know that what I'm going to say is, and some are not. And I got to one that I thought was really exciting when I read through it. And it was a manor, a haunted manor, that maybe was better on paper, because what it ended up being was the writer just left in, okay, when the players have explored the entire manor, then the final, bad guy reveals himself. Which isn't interesting to me. Plaguestone does this as well. And it has, because I'm running Plaguestone as well right now. And they have when the players have searched around enough, give them this next bit. Really? Okay. The player's agency is taken away a little bit. I don't like that. But what was worse with this Dark Archive game was the players are in a central hub room. I'm going to illustrate right here. Imagine this is a central hub room here. And they just branch off, walk into a room that doesn't go anywhere else, fight everything in it, walk back out, walk into another room, discover a trap or a hazard, deal with that, go to the next room. And, as one of my players once said in another game, he said, if we know every room sucks, why don't we just stop going into rooms? To which the answer was like, well, you have to. And as a character, that's not a good motivation. Thankfully, here we have a very good motivation. The motivation being, please go rescue Lavinia, and once she's rescued, rescue the rest of the Jade Ravens. No, we don't know where they went. We all fought together, in Area 7 here in the garden, and then things got crazy and mixed up from there. So players would probably likely go to 7, follow some tracks that lead them over to Kaskaskiel the Dwarf. See if I can remember all these names. Which then, as a GM, the next part is like, oh, hey, you're also close to the basement from here. He could say, hey, I've heard some noises from down here. You're not eliminating the entire manor or anything, but it does allow it to be a little bit more pointed, because I do just hate wandering around like with no point or purpose or anything like that. Okay. All right, we're about like 5-10 minutes into the stream already and I haven't done anything. But I do want to say, I have not really advertised the stream very much in a while, for good reason. Because I don't have anything to show. And I haven't been able to keep to a consistent schedule because things are crazy. New job, new child coming, changing shifts and schedules all the time. And I'd like to have something consistent to show people. That said, if we finish up with, not if, when we finish up Bullywug Gambit, I will likely toss this up on Reddit one more time, see if we can get people interested. And again, I'd love to see some people actually play this game, even if I have to be the one to do it. I'll run a stream or something, get some random people to play. Anyway, also, my wife is here with me today, and she is tired and pregnant. But she looks so good. Yay. Yay. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. Where we left off, I believe, page 36. Oh, hey, we're right here. Great. Yes, we had the bullywugs that were hiding behind the stuffed dire toad. Want to make sure that this is where we are. Yes, second alarm, 6th paragraph change. Boom. Great. All right. Checking my other notes. My goodness, so many notes. Here we are. V7, don't need to change anything, but let's take a look. Courtyard, blah, 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 blah. Magic missiles. Okay. Throwing knives. I don't know that it's included in treasure or anything. Okay, cool. Don't need to change anything. That's right. That's what we started doing. I had these tabs open up here for a reason. Nature feats, because we have to talk about what is going on with Handle Animal and these mastiffs and what we can do with that. So the nature skill itself. Command an animal, sure. That's it. Animals will DC. Hostile or unfriendly. Okay, if an animal is helpful, increase it. Wait. Okay. So we have to be able to actually increase the animal's attitude. Okay? So what we have to do, we could even say, these mastiff hounds, dogs are agitated, they can smell the bullywugs, and if released, yeah. So, we're going to have to change this. We're going to put this into some more Pathfinder friendly terms. And this is the big one here is this paragraph. Okay? And we have a few ways to actually influence animals. We have, where is tame animal? Lord Almighty. We have not train animal. Do we have wild empathy? Yes, wild empathy. So this gives it druid, and I think also rangers have it, I believe, as well. I could be wrong. I actually don't have enough, too many, they could take it as a feat. Or, okay, great. So somebody with a wild empathy feat, wild empathy class feature. Yeah. Okay. Or even, can charm work? Is charm only humanoid now? I have to check here. Good job, me. Charm. Let's try that again. One creature. Okay. So you know what I'll just say? Make it very easy. I say easy. But I might put in a few signposts, so to speak. And signposts are just messages to GMs to keep their brains going in the right direction without filling the page with information that they don't need. Speaking of don't need, there we are. Okay. Page 36. Boom. We're going to... Whoops. we're going to change 1, 2, 3, 4. Third column, paragraph 4. Third column, paragraph 4. Okay? Change. I think we're just we might rewrite the entire thing because it's going to be kind of tricky. Change 2. Woo. Don't want to do that. All right. So rather than say, right, they growl at any PCs who approach and bark loudly. Fine enough. Growl at any PCs who approach and bark loudly. Bullywugs, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, the bullywugs have been ignoring the dog's incessant barking. Bullywugs have been ignoring the dog's incessant. Spell that right? Barking. Incessant barking. Since their arrival, so this does not draw any investigation by the frogmen. Okay. Immediately forgot the words. Since their arrival. Okay. Arrival. So this does not draw any investigation from... Does it call them frogmen? From the frogmen. Boom. Da-da-da-da. Alright. Now. Hey, Zombie Creeper. My GM is doing a One Piece campaign. We get to start with one dedication. If if we don't pick a devil fruit. Inventor Gunslinger. Yes. So inventor with gunslinger dedication or gunslinger with inventor dedication, because both are very interesting options. Playing a gunslinger right now, who is leaning heavily into crafting, I can see with a 16 intelligence, I could see inventor being very fun for me. I don't know inventor as well. Inventor with gunslinger dedication. Actually, I'm curious. You've got my my ADD going. What does the gunslinger dedication give us? Let's see here. Choose a gunslinger way. Well, this is going to be my first question, which is, of course, which way you going? Is me. I am a sucker. Path of the Vanguard. We've got a Vanguard player on our server, who is real cool. Lots of get into melee. So I imagine with Inventor you could do some fun stuff with that. You could be like, my brain immediately goes to Weapon Inventor. Okay, I was gonna say my brain goes to Armor Inventor and just get real into the melee and just smack people around with a blunderbuss and I have no idea. Weirdly, I don't. Oh, Gunblade. Those things, man. I have to look up Gunblade. Oh man, it's one of those tricky things to like look up. If I look up firearms, I'll find it. But those are the gun sword. There it is. Yes. I mean, we all know it's a Gunblade. I'm so curious. There we go. The combination weapons. I haven't seen anyone use one yet. So and this is coming from what I run. I don't know how many. I run like 12 or so PFS games a month. And if anybody shows up with a gunslinger, it's like we just have the Vanguard gunslinger now that I think about it. All right. Large sword, powerful gun, harmonic gun. Yeah, the combination. Is it a one action to switch? Let's see here. Share any fun? Yes, that's really good. Yeah, I would agree that Vanguard and combo weapons are really... Why am I doing it that way? You know what? I'm just doing this silly. You're catching me, like, post... Siegebreaker. Okay. Am I looking at the... I'm curious. Is it on here? Siegebreaker. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, Siegebreaker. Wielding a firearm, they kick back or... Leap and street. Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's really awesome. That is really cool. That's going to be a fun... Like, no matter what, that's going to be a fun character to play. I feel a little guilty. I have a gunslinger. And it's not that I don't play them a fun gunslinger or anything, but I play them. Oh yeah, that'll get through some shields for sure. I play my gunslinger in such a safe, not predictable way, but like this is the way that I would like to win the combat. Like I have a sniper. I just sit in the back, hide, reload, fire off a shot, hide, reload, fire off a shot, hide. Just a lot of fun, but for me, I don't think it is for anybody else, including the GM. He said I would do the most damage. I think pretty likely. I don't know the rest of your team, but an inventor gunslinger, that's some like those are two damaging classes for certain. Oh Lord Almighty, what's the do you know what the rest of your team looks like? I'm gonna keep writing stuff while we talk. By the way, I am I am thinking about attitudes of dogs. Making you know what I want to do is I want to make these. Not yet, since I'm the last crew member and I just moved. Just moved, like physical location, or you've moved into the game, or interesting. Beginning. Oh, from Alaska to Virginia. What a change! What a dramatic change. Lord Almighty. What? I'm gonna ask. Let's see. Moved for work? Dad in the military. So yeah, I mean, you may be a bit used to it then at this point. I've worked on a lot of military bases at this point, and I get to see folks from all over. Just yep, this is my life. Military kid. I'm jumping around. There. With so Alaska to Virginia. Virginia's got I forgot the military base there, but I don't want to. 22. Didn't want to leave you behind in Alaska. I don't blame him. That's a. I mean, at 22. In fairness, I'm not a good person to compare lives to. 22. I left off for Fort Belvoir. I don't know that one actually. I left off for Korea when I was in 22, but I have a very different life. I was already in the circus at that point. Yeah, in Alaska, I'm not sure actually much of what is there. All I know about Alaska is what I learned from the book by Dick Proenke, One Man's Wilderness, and his associated documentary that he made for himself. Strange man. So wait a minute. So interestingly enough, you moved from Alaska to Virginia, and you've already got a Pathfinder group. Like, that's amazing. Or was this online, or... There. You know what? I'm going to keep that right just like that. And I'm just going to add some stuff. Their initial attitudes towards the PCs is online. They were playing the game. Oh, that's rough. Oh, man. Yeah. So I've been moving a lot. I don't know if we've met. I don't know if you're on the server or anything, but please. You getting introduced mid-game is fun, because you kind of get to be like a little bit higher level and have some stories. Like, I'm the guy that did all this kick-ass shit. What was I thinking? I've done a lot of moving. I currently live in Japan here, if you can tell from the sunlight pouring in from my window. But I have lots of players that come in and out of games, so getting to introduce someone at level 3 or 4 is already a lot cooler when it's like, in the darkness you hear 3 shots ring out, bang, bang, bang. I've been doing this for a while, and ta-da, there's Greg, the inventor gunslinger. Probably go with a better name than Greg. Their initial attitude... Okay, sorry. My brain... I was talking to another fellow on our server who's just got some medication for attention deficit disorder. And I'm like, I'm a 34-year-old man. I'm thinking I should do that. Kidnapped by a ghost captain, make weapons for him, and guess what the special ability with inventor. And guess what the special ability... I actually don't know inventor that well. I have a singular inventor on the server. Yeah, I think I only... Yeah, the explosion. Yeah, yeah, explode's the best. It is funny. Yeah, there you go. There's something, especially if you're already going like Path of the Vanguard and you've got the gun sword, having explode is great. Looking at all of my other inventor friends who all went with ranged weapons, like incredibly ranged weapons, they're like, I don't use explode. Oh, all right, it's sad. Um, be improved to friendly or helpful. Either this is so what I'm doing right now. By the way, if you haven't seen this stream before, we are taking the old Savage Tide adventure path, one of the last 3 adventure paths to come out for Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition, and we're bringing it up to modern date. This is, look, 2006. Whew! Oh my god! Look at that. We're updating it. We're putting it into Pathfinder 2nd edition rules. Hey, and the reason I chose this one is because it's awesome, and just like One Piece, lots of piracy in it. Not enough to qualify as being called the pirate adventure, though. Sadly, though they did kind of market it as that. If I look this up, Savage Tide adventure path. Check this out. If I look this up, the cover absolutely shows this is a Todd Lockwood. Very pirate looking. This all looks like, yes, we're going to be doing piracy and stuff. And no, you're not. You're not really going to be doing that. You're going to get a little bit of it. You're going to get some fun pirate action for sure. And then you're going to go kill Demogorgon. And thanks to, well, look at all this. This is still just recommended now, but thanks to, what's it called? Oh my god, I've forgotten the name. Stranger Things. Now everybody knows who Demogorgon is, except they've got it all wrong. So, Savage Tide Demogorgon. So how many? How long you been playing Pathfinder? How long you been playing tabletop RPGs, my man Zombie? My man, my woman. Everyone's gender neutral to me at this point. You're all just names floating through on chat. Let's see. All right, I'm getting distracted. Either through spells like charm or class abilities like wild empathy. There we go. This is what I'm saying about signposts, because oftentimes if you just put something in, once the attitudes to the players is unfriendly, but it should be approved if friendly or unhelpful. If you say something like that, there are the occasional GMs that are like, yeah, make a diplomacy check. And the players won't have their abilities to do so, which sort of de-emphasizes. Guy, and it's fine. I'm playing D&D 5e. Got into Pathfinder 3 to 5 minutes ago. Awesome. Months ago. I was going to say, I was like, 3 to 5 minutes ago? That's when we met. Okay. Yeah, very cool. I think COVID was such a very cool time for for tabletop RPGs to get big. Admittedly, I know a lot of that was Critical Role that helped the huge explosion. But everybody staying inside and finding online groups, very, very cool for us GMs that are like constantly looking for players. I think I'm at the point where I might have too many players. Let me see. I'm curious if I check the server right now. How many we have? 23 people on the server right now. That's not bad. 8 of them are GMs. Yes. Lord Almighty. Okay. So I also run a play-by-post Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but we also run other games server. Big old nerds over here. Anyway, D&D 5e is really, it's one of these things that's very hard for me to put like my finger on my feelings for it. Because it's sort of like, I grew up playing D&D, from 2nd edition to 3rd, 3.5, 4th as well, and 5th edition came, and I was like, yeah, I'm not as jazzed about this as I usually am. And it was also during a time of change for me, going between countries and finding new places to live. And kind of got into Pathfinder, and Yeah, I think 5th edition, unlike so many Pathfinder people that are like, I'm going to shit on anything that isn't my favorite game. 5th edition's a fine game. I think if anyone invites me to play a game, absolutely I'm in. But then again, my goal for role-playing games is really just storytelling and enjoying, I don't know, playing something doofy. He says while playing the most serious characters of all time. I hope Nex was in the chat right now. Poor Nex, who has to GM for me all the time. Like, my character's just sad and moody. Oh my god. Like, this war's done hell to us. Dude, we're playing a Pokemon game. The hell. Oh, a GM for a Westmarch server. Lord almighty. First time DMing Westmarch. That's a big ask. But at the same time, I was going to say, my first thought is, boy, that's a lot. But that actually might be a really great way to dip your toes into DMing. Like, it's sort of kind of like what I grew up with starting out, where it's just like, here's a town, here's adventures that go on around it. What do you guys want to do? It didn't have these huge overarching plots that were insanely intricate or anything. It was just like, there are goblins in the mines. Go get the goblins out of the mines. Or, since I was an edgy kid or something like that, it was like, there are orcs, and they've made peace with the local goblins, but the goblins want to backstab the orcs, kill the orcs, like weird stuff like that. The thoughts of a 12-year-old. What do I want these let's see. The dogs, see, this is interesting, because we have actual Pathfinder 2nd edition rules for this. If handled with a DC 15 wild empathy or handle an animal check, the dogs obey the party. The dogs. I made a half-drawn Night Ranger with a mysterious mask, but honestly, he just didn't want to scare people because of his race, and both parents are alive. Yeah, that's one of the more fun parts about making a character is defying those stereotypes. Or there's a very, very, very good game out there. Let's see. I got it's been so long since 13th Age. Yes, 13th Age. When did this come out? 2013. Lord almighty, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. Wholesome characters are good. I think my characters keep tending towards wholesome. They just get very serious. 13th Age, and you can see. Let me see. Rob Hennessy, I think, was yes. Rob Hennessy, Jonathan Tweet, big guys. Big guys in the role playing world. Oh, look at that! It's actually had a supplement back even in 2022. I had forgotten about this game. They did something very clever. Where is it? Are they going to say it in here? Yes, here it is. And I think every game would benefit for having this. Each character has one unique thing that can be anything, but has no mechanics to it. So your one unique thing can be like, has a third eye in the center of his head. Done. But it doesn't do anything. But it gives a GM or a DM something to latch onto and say, like, okay, I can expand this out into a backstory and we can make a story out of this. Your one unique thing could be you are the only halfling dragon rider. I love stuff like that. But it also encouraged... Oh, so look, I'm the only halfling knight of the Dragon Emperor, and I have a clockwork heart made of dwarves. Look at that. But it changes... What it does is it changes the setting by saying, I have one thing that nobody else has. You, as a player, impact the setting. I love this. That said, I have literally not gotten anybody ever to play 13th Age with me. What a shame. These guys were... This was... So, 2013. This was around when 4th edition was kind of just getting shaky. And if you haven't played 4th edition, I do recommend everyone give it a shot. Forge Cleric, I made sure the new players got cheap armor. Yeah. I love crafting. I know that a lot of people don't like it in Pathfinder 2nd edition. I still love crafting. Let me think. I'm still thinking about how to word this. Their initial attitudes to the players is unfriendly, but what it should be they do follow orders, or follow commands, given through the command and animal action. Boom. And that's all we really need, except that I got to look up something else. Yeah, I think this hobby is one of those things you can just dive into and have go in so many million different directions. I was allowed to stack my cleric affection for up to one. Oh, jeez, Louise. Oh my. You're bringing me back to crafting shenanigans in first edition Pathfinder. All right, a player was just like, I'm like, he's like, how long do I have for downtime? I don't know, like a week or two. I'll just make infinite money, and then I'll just buy anything I need. Like, oh God, which is when I realized I had to be a little bit tougher on keeping new players alive is important. I have a fun story about murdering not a player but their character. Murdered the player later. No. Sorry, what am I looking up? I'm looking up dogs. Creature family dog. Cool. I want to make these guard dogs perfect. It's an interesting thing as a GM, as a DM, and I'm sure you're kind of getting this feeling starting as a West March player, West March DM. You want to provide like that experience for your group of like overcoming challenges and being tough on them and putting the fear of death on them, but at the same time you're like, please, I want you guys to succeed. I'm also playing this game. I don't want it to be like, and you guys lose again. New story, I guess, right, guys? But so I am a Pathfinder Society GM, which is sort of like saying, you know, it has no meaning. That title is not a title. Anybody can be a Pathfinder GM or a Society GM. You just go, you sign up to run a game for organized play, and you have a lot of fun. You get achievement points and stuff. But you, for the most part, you really can't bend the rules that much. And as a GM, I love bending the rules. But with Society, you really got to be rigid. And I had a player show up. It was her first game. She was so excited, but she was worried about her character dying. And I said, don't worry. It's a level 1 scenario. People don't really die, even in like higher level scenarios. It's very difficult to have a character die in one of these. She goes, well, just to be safe, I spent all my money and I have the best armor I can at level 1. She was a cleric, outfitted in super heavy armor. She was ready to go. And everybody was like, we're going to protect our precious little human cleric with like unoptimized stats. Because, you know, it's her first game. Everyone's having fun. And then the first encounter of the adventure began. And I read through, and it's a series of mounted lancers. And they're charging through a forest on untrained horses, wearing ill-fitted armor, so you can hear them a mile away. So the lancers had to do all of these things. They had to handle their animals. They had to just to control them. Then they have to ride through the underbrush, which is already a problem. And then the players have to fail their perception check to hear them coming. Well, wouldn't you know it, I roll amazingly for the one lancer. One singular lancer controls his horse, rides through the underbrush, and lowers the lance. And our cleric does not hear it coming. Check over the scenario again. As a service to your group, the lancer will aim for the most highly armored opponent. Because, well, yeah, I'm going to miss against a highly armored opponent. So I said, well, it's coming right for the cleric. And I thought, oh, this would be great. You know, because it's her first time. It'll give her a little bit of a shock. And then she'll feel great when her armor works out. And I roll out, and it's a natural 20. Back in first edition, I still have to confirm my criticals. And I roll it again, and a natural 20. Okay. That's not good. Because as a mounted charge on a character, I am doing not double damage, but triple damage on the charge. I think, I forgot exactly what it was. But essentially, this gets even compounded from the actual critical itself. And essentially, I did like 50 damage to her first game, first dice roll. And she looked at me and she said, and this was first edition. Second edition, hey, thankfully you just dropped down to dying too. And we go, wow, that sucks, but at least you're not dead. First edition, I have to say, you exploded into beef stroganoff oozing outside of your armor. You know. And she said, oh, what do I do now? And I had to say, well, that's it. I'm sorry. You can sit at the table and maybe you can play someone's animal companion. I got nothing at this point. And I feel bad. I think I go back to that a lot, where it's like, I wonder if she ever played the game again. And I'm like, I must have been the worst experience for her, where just every die went in my favor and every die went against, well, the singular perception check went against her. Now, the thing is, Pathfinder Society is not as rigid as people say it is. For instance, there's always going to be rules conflicts that just don't make sense. You're like, well, how would that happen? And that's why GMs exist, to adjudicate those things. So, one of the big rules in Pathfinder Society, as a GM, you make the final call. That said, when it comes right down to clear-cut rules of, yeah, you exploded into a fine mist, I got nothing there. She was very, very gone. I would love to have a happy ending to that and say, oh, she came back next week with a new character and we had a lot of fun. I never saw her again, and I feel really bad about it. But I have a good story out of it. Yeah. Well. All right, we're going to put in some guard dogs. I want to see, because I'm the GM. Yeah, that's the worst. An important lesson for every GM to learn is do opposite of improv. Improv is yes and, you know. Oh, you're a baker. Why, yes, I am. And it turns out I'm low on dough at the moment. Ha ha. You know, improv. GMs do the opposite. No. But if your player is going to ask for something insane, if I swallow a delayed blast fireball, but I'm immune to fire, could I shoot fire out of my mouth? No. But I'll allow you to belch it up at the end and just kind of target it on yourself and take no damage. Ta-da! You know, the explanations are good. I have a player that would often say to me, say something, I'm trying to think of a good example. He'd say something very innocuous. So, if somebody fell 20 feet, but the ceiling was 10 feet high, I'd be like, I want you to explain what you're doing before I answer this question. Because it's a lot, you know, explanations are good. But yeah, good explanations, very powerful. So, Zombie, by any chance, are you on our... You're a busy person. If you would like to get into a play-by-post game, if you were like, something to mess around with on Discord, we got games for that. I think we're opening up. I just saw... Let me check our recruit. You know what? I'm going to do something I haven't done very often. I'm going to see if I can switch this over. Not here. Here. Yeah. I'm going to switch this over to... Here we go. Ta-da! Here we go. Our server! Hey! I do believe we're recruiting for... Oh, Lord Almighty. Society of Friendly Trespassers. Yes, this is risky as start. 259 people! Holy Lord Almighty. How did I... Oh, my God. Well, look at that. We've got a it looks like they might be full up. We've got a post-apocalyptic game that's opening up. 40 players. Is that all? Yeah. Anyway. We got tons and tons of... Oh, wait a minute. Did I not hit the button? I didn't hit the button. There we go. We had an argument with our GM. Taking down in front of taking damage. It was raging and still took full damage. Their DM made a barbarian take damage from... I'm not sure I entirely understand this scenario. We had an argument with our GM. Made a barbarian take damage for falling off a cliff after taking damage. Took damage. Fell off a cliff. Took more damage. But he was raging and still took full damage. This might. I feel like this might be a D&D 5e thing. I'm thinking. I'm not 100% aware what's going on, but I don't think I've shut off the server on stream before. We've got maybe I have. We've got all of our many games here. Delta Green going on, Dark Archive going on, Fall of Plaguestone. That's me. I have to update that, and all of our completed games. Lord Almighty. And a few of these are public for everybody to take a read over if they're interested in it. I don't know that too many people go back to read these, but you never know. I gotta read through, actually, Dragon Force one of these days. I'm interested in that one. Barbarians take half damage from piercing when raging. Ah, got it. Okay. Really? Wow, Lord Almighty. I can see that getting into some shenanigans territory. Lord Almighty. I mean, I love damage reduction on Barbarians. Half is huge. I remember, I should probably switch back to converting stuff. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. There it goes. All right. There we are. Yeah, I definitely remember in 3.5. Fall damage is bludgeoning, I imagine, still. I'm actually curious. In 2nd edition, is it? I imagine it's bludgeoning as well in 2E. No, it just... Oh, yeah, bludgeoning damage. Yeah. All right. Out of curiosity. Yeah, I know there are some people that are upset that weaknesses and vulnerabilities have been changed to be like 50% less damage to 150% more damage to just being flat numbers. But then we get these situations where it's like, as a GM, if my barbarian jumps 500 feet out of the sky and lands and takes very little damage, I'd be like, we might be in a situation here. No, it's all right. I'm too angry to die. Oh, God. Yeah, without knowing more, I'm not exactly sure. It does sound like your GM was just, oh, God, the rules have come up in such a way that, fuck, we might have a problem going forward, and didn't explain himself very well. So, I could be wrong. I've definitely been put into situations where somebody hands me the rulebook and goes, a 50-foot drop. Oh, well, that's, I did have a player back in, and this is an embarrassing one. Expedition 2, Ravenloft. So, Expedition Cast Ravenloft. This was a bad reprint. It's such a shame. Is it James Wyatt? Bruce Cordell and James Wyatt. Lord Almighty, good names, too. I guess there could be people that really love this. I know I don't. Expedition Castle Ravenloft was a reprint of the original Ravenloft module, which is now the 5th edition module. It's super popular, which is just Curses Count Strahd. Look at this Strahd. The original Ravenloft Strahd is so much cooler. Anyway, one of my players explained to me, after some splat books, that he could essentially deal infinite damage at level 1 and found Strahd and disintegrated his body with pure sunlight that flowed outside of his chest abs. And I remember thinking, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to have a talk with my player. Despite the rules being correct, that isn't okay. No worries. Rewrite away. I have that same thing where it's like I gotta get my formatting correct, which makes this a very frustrating stream for so many people who have to watch me go, I gotta get it right. Speaking of which, let me get this right. I have a feeling my wife and I are going to head out for some ramen, I think. Maybe? Ramen? I don't know. We might be heading out for some lunch after this, so I'm going to keep my stream somewhat short today. I want to change all the players. Yeah, that's an important one. If all of your players, if you're a DM and you make a call and your players, 1, think it's unfair, 2, think it's unfun, either change your ruling, or 2, talk to your players about, and as you said, explain things. Give an explanation for why. It's tricky. I don't know that I've been in too many positions where my players have said I've made an unfair call. I usually tend to, like I said, I tend to go on the side of fun and whatever's going to make the more interesting story. Lord Almighty, please, oh man, we got to get one of the Dark Archives folks into this chat, because our Dark Archives game has gone off the rails in all the best ways. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very lame if you were like, all right, you say to the GM, I have this cool idea. I'm going to leap off. I'm going to take 5d6 falling damage, but it won't be as bad for me. And it's going to make this dramatic entrance, and it's going to be awesome. And as a GM, welcome to Rule of Cool. You're right. That is cool. I'm not going to penalize you further for that. The penalty is already, you're going to take some damage from that fall. You're taking half damage from the fall, from your barbarian. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know what the GM was doing, but he might be trying to future-proof it. I have no idea. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If my player usually approaches me with a, hey, I want to do something cool, but here's what the bad thing is for that, especially if it's within the rules, yeah. If I have a player that says, I'm going to do something that's just incredibly powerful and strong, I will usually add in, and here's why you might not want to do that. Again, I'm playing with people that are literal time travelers, and we've been doing some shenanigans, but we had, in Strength of Thousands, we had somebody walking around in a mech suit. Admittedly, one made out of wood and stone, but still, that was cool. Never put a Forge Cleric in a metal cell. Ugh, let me tell you, I got a lot more rules that I've learned over the years. I have a new rule of never completely strip a sorcerer or a psychic of all of their weapons and armor and gear, because he will see that as a challenge. I had a player fashion a murder weapon out of the bones of the guards. Lord Almighty, 3.5 was a great time. That's why I love 3.5. Not that it's like good and balanced. You got to start a revolution. You got to start. Okay, I gotta. Let's see. Hold on. I have to replace. Third. Yeah. I'm so interested in other people's games. Whoa. Rapless. Replace. I don't get to see enough other GMs, and as in Play by Post, I could definitely get another a large amount of GM styles that I see. Yeah. Druids will make you their blacksmiths. I don't know why I said that so confidently. I have no idea. I'm like, yes. No, wait. Let me, real quick. I gotta do something here, because if I don't, I will hold it against myself, because I just said earlier today, just earlier in the stream, that I don't have time to do this stuff. And I'm like, yeah. Let's see. With, I got to, where are our guard dogs? Guard dog. Guard dog 3. Guard dogs 3. There we go. So, yeah. Sorry, my brain turned off for just a moment. I forgot the spell. Even during me, yeah. Yeah. That stuff's fun. I greatly enjoy. The word I'm going to use is shenanigans with magic, but yeah, I love that stuff. Bestiary 102. Okay, there we go. Pathfinder, Bestiary. Did I just say 102? The Druid death rate decreased. How many people how many characters are dying in your games? My lord, it's been a hot minute since I've murdered any characters. I did kill that psychic solo, but they came back. They recovered. Perception. There we go. 6. No, wrong button. Oops. There we are. Man, it sounds like this is a regular thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think the last time like I had a really impactful death. No, I don't know. It's been a real while for me. And I play in so many games. Why am I spelling everything wrong today? Then again, I guess my players do tend to be very cautious about things. Let me take a look-see. My players do tend to roll badly, though. If Slozar were in the chat, yeah, that'll get you killed. That'll get you killed. All right. Okay, so that's. I don't think I really need to do anything more with these things. V8, boom, boom, boom. Okay. I'm gonna knock out a few more of these pages real quick because we gotta get. Yes, page 38. Cool. Yeah. Players. I mean, that's the fun of the game. If your players are having fun, hell yeah, go for it. You know. They do something stupid and everyone at the table groans, but like smiles. Yeah, good. They do something stupid at the table and everyone's like, Jesus Christ, not again. Why are you doing this? That's when you're like, all right, I gotta pull you aside. Hey man, what the hell are you doing? I did have a player back in college. I mean, he lost a character maybe once every other session. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I guess second edition Pathfinder has kind of. It's been a while since I've seen soloing of things. Back in 3.5, it was just like, "Okay, guys, let me handle this demigod alone. I think I'll take care of it. You guys deal with the zombies." All right, I'm Lorblubtub. Gentle Giant. Let me see. I'm looking here real fast. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, alright, I gotta look at something I may or may not have made. Monster tool. Real fast. So, you, Mr. Zombie, have you seen PF2 tools? Because these are really great especially if you're starting out on the Westmarch server, or any GMing. These are great tools. They help us to effectively design all sorts of monsters, items, and the like. The creature creator, the monster tool is particularly good because it will take everything that's in the game mastery guide, or now we're gonna have the new GM core coming up, and get those numbers a lot closer for you. Oh, hello. I'm not in what's the word? Streamer mode. Silly me. Where is it? Streamer mode. And on. There we are. Yeah, so let me toss that in. Let me see. If I just PF2 tools. Ta-da! This should be all of them. Yeah, boom. Look at all these. Obviously, monster tool. I don't like easy tool. Scribe tool, template tool. Those are the big ones. Use those. They're real good. Especially the monster tool. I use it all the time. We've got Huntress Lorblubtub here, and I do not believe that I actually officially made her thumbnail. Not thumbnail. Stat block, like printed out somewhere. No, I opened the wrong thing. So for me, a lot of what I do is having a big giant PFS. Here we go. Photoshop file that I have been editing so I can keep this all nice and clean. All right, don't mind me. I'm working on another little program here, but you just get to see me like zone out. All right, I'll open up some things. NPCs. Her name is Huntress Lorblubtub. Oh, speaking of which, I reached out to the writer of this adventure, which is Mr. Nicholas Logue, and I was hoping he would answer some questions for me. He hasn't gotten back to me, understandably. Number one, will make monster, and that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. There. creatures being, yeah, that's hands down one of the absolute rules. Don't an encounter should never just be. I'll tell a story to illustrate what I'm gonna say. I showed up for a. Hold on, let me real quick type this out before I forget. Replace Huntress Lorb Tub. There we go. With the following stat block. All right. Okay. So I showed up for a pickup game at a local comic book store. I was about maybe 25 at the time. No, I had to be younger than that. I hadn't gone to Korea yet. Maybe about your age, maybe about 22. And I met the GM. He goes, "Oh, what's your character?" And I show up with a cleric. Where is all of my stuff? Show up with a dwarven cleric. Gonna have some fun with it. And he goes, "Okay, you could do all these different missions." And blah, blah, blah. We decide to go to a... I should not be trying to do multiple things at once. There we go. You can go to this. We go to a cemetery. There's been undead rising up in there. Essentially, if I'm writing this as a GM, this would just be a singular encounter, and then maybe a dungeon crawl at the end, maybe some treasure, or an explanation of why the undead are rising. Instead, he just says, "Okay, there's some human skeletons, and I'm a cleric." We turn undead, boom, make our way through, and he goes, "Oh, clearly that's all he had planned was a singular encounter." So he goes, "Okay, well there's more skeletons." Okay, we go and we fight them. Okay, and then he just flips through the monster manual, and he's like, "Okay, now there's a dryad." And I remember thinking, okay, this guy hasn't GM'd before. All right, because the GM screwed up I'm not saying I like what the GM did, but I somewhat like being put in that position of a mysterious thing happened, and there's that other GM didn't justify it. It's like Exquisite Corpse, which is you take the work of another author without their explanation for why they did things that way, and then you continue on from there. I think that could be a lot of fun. Why did the Leshens attack? What was going on? Is there something driving them? I'm going to be very lame, and just here's my first thought, and I'm stealing it from Sunless Citadel by Rob Cordell. Hey, maker of 13th Age. Cyclical. I believe he did. Rob Cordell did Sunless Citadel. Now I got to check that. Bruce Cordell, not Rob. Bruce Cordell. Hey. And say, hey, there's a druid that's twisting them, driving them mad to spread along his own disease and corruption. And now he's at the bottom of a dark and dank... I gotta stop doing dungeons. I don't like that. He is within a dark wood, and he must be stopped before he spreads his corruption. And he's trying to get back at the druidic order that tossed him out. Boom, ta-da, fun. Hey, I like that. But that is, again, I just stole the plot from the Sunless Citadel, so take that how you will. Alright, here's Huntress Lorb Tub. Did we do anything fun with her? Yeah, she's just... Yes, that's right, we gave her the Leaping Power Slam. Just jumps and slams on people, and then smacks them around with her axes. I like that a lot. We got Rage. We didn't give her a flurry. 300 XP. Lord Almighty, that's beyond extreme. Extreme is 200, I believe. Make sure I'm not crazy. Building. I should know this by, off the top of my head easily because I do this all the time. Yeah, 160 is extreme. Excuse me, extreme. Is this 5e or is this 2e PF2? Because I know with 5e, 2e, really? 300? Lord Almighty. I'm trying to think of... Yeah, no wonder you're having characters dying left and right. Good God. All right, let me see here. Lord, I want to change this. Less than 10 hit points. Do I want to change this? I'm going to say 20. It's a different server. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say... Lord, if reduced to less than 10 hit points. I'm going to change that. Because I want to keep her somewhat... 15. 15 feels better. I was going to say 20. But, yeah. We count that as 1, 2, 3. Second column. Third paragraph. All right. We're gonna change some words here. Less than 10. Okay. 10 hit points. Yeah. Well, you're now in a very interesting position. I sometimes do an adventure design stream. This is a conversion stream, so it's a lot less creative and a little bit more like 20. What the hell? Okay, in which case, now I can see how they survived it a little bit because it's all right. Yeah, that's not so bad because they're so weak at that point. But very odd. What a very odd way to design that encounter. We do a lot of encounter design. I'm gonna do something. Devouring my own tail, Ouroboros. We've got, hey, we do a homebrew and design stuff here. I would skip all this stuff because these were not fun. Yeah, lower level 1 or 2. Jeez, Lord Almighty, yeah, that would TPK. If you're low levels, and no matter what you're getting attacked with, if there's 20 of them, that's a fleeing situation. But we designed a level 0 adventure. It is pretty much done. I don't know if it's ever going to be really finished, just because I don't think anyone likes it. We'll see. We'll see. But we have a... I don't know if you... Look at this. This is like 5 hours of content. If that's a thing you're interested in, we have a how to design encounters. Obviously, you probably don't need that, but if you want to take a look at like encounter design, actually, this is all level 0 encounter design. We had to change a lot of rules because level 0 is rough. That said, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was doing something. 2. Less than 15 hit points. There we go. Okay. Hunter's Lore Tub. I also... Ooh. I need to change this. What did I write here originally? 3 Boggard Scouts. Yes. Boggard Scout. Yep, I'm fine with this. What we did, we made a number of different Boggards for this... this dungeon, and I'm just thinking about where we want to replace them. But yeah, I don't do play by play. I like using Foundry. Yeah, and that's cool. I would say that I'd love to get a Foundry game going, and I think we have a few GMs on our server that do, who are less busy than me, which is why I do play by post. I have first off, I live in Japan, which makes my playtime different, and secondly, I've got a son. And I've got another kid coming next Friday. Woohoo! And I've got very strange work hours. I work from like noon to 9. So it makes my free time real weird. Mondays and... Used to live, Okinawa. There it is. There's that military travel. Okinawa is lovely. Only because, for me, living in Japan, it doesn't feel like Japan. I go there and I'm like, oh, look at that. A lot of foreigners... And there's tacos, and they're real big on A&W root beer, which is hilarious to me. Okinawa, lovely place. Only place where you can, well, not the only place. One of the few places in Japan where you can get a snake. Yeah, the southern version of Japan. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. We've got there's I'd call it like the Hawaiian version of Japan because Okinawa, Osaka is very much like the southern Japan where everyone's very in your face. My family used to go to Okinawa every New Year's, but after Corona, sort of made it a little difficult. Uh, so, but yes, cannot recommend Okinawa enough. I don't know if my wife can hear me. I don't know if she's listening to me anymore, but that's where we're planning to retire. Arashi. Arashi, I think, is a famous one. I'm scared about what my Google could bring up. Arashi ramen. Yeah. I think it's a nice chain. These yeah. When I go to Okinawa, I'm always there for steak and tacos. Like that's mostly because I've got so much ramen in my life out here. What was I thinking? I'm doing that thing. Yes. I'm just gonna do some Bogart Scouts here. I'm gonna borrow these. Their McDonald's is better than America. Fact. Very much a fact. Only because, for me, they've got the what we have right now. I'm going to look this up. Samurai Mac. We've got right now. Their meat tastes like meat. We've got this right now. The Samurai Mac. This is the new one, and it's stayed on the menu for at least a year now. Oof. Mwah. Delicious. Love these things. We got the love these, and we've also got Hawaiian mac, hash brown, Japan. Yeah, everything's very small. We've got this going right now. Yes. Well, this is never a good-looking picture, but man, oh man, they're delicious. I say that I'm not like eating McDonald's all the time here in Japan, but when I do, it's really good. I'm not going to be giving these guys their stealth stuff here. Whoa, 7. Keep that 7. Okay. Oh, no. This is 1, 2. All right. There we go. Yeah, so how old were you when you were in Okinawa? Because it's very interesting, like, as somebody who studies, psychology through the ages. I'm a teacher. I think it's a very interesting, it changes your outlook on the world. 16, 18? Oh, that's like the best time to experience living in Japan. Very cool. Very cool. And I imagine you took classes on base, so you didn't have to deal with the insanity that is the Japanese public school system. As somebody who has taught in the Japanese public school system, it is crazy, but fun. I have to see here real fast. Nothing here that I need to adjust. I will need to change her gear later, right? I don't think I gave her any gear. No, I did. I gave her striking hatchets. Bullied out of football because I didn't know how to play or knew anything about it. Wow. That's interesting. No, trust me, if somebody asked me to play football... Actually, funny story, since I've got time. When I first came to Japan about 7 or 8 years ago, someone knocked on my door and said, "Anato American desu ka? Are you an American?" Yeah, I'm American. Do you like baseball? And I didn't really know what to say. And I don't like baseball. I don't play baseball. I'm a marathon runner. But I thought, sure. Yeah, I like baseball. Great. I will see you here this Saturday. Left. Didn't know the guy. And he came back that Saturday, and he had a baseball uniform on, and he's like, "All right, get in the car." Sure. I feel like I can handle myself in Japan. And thankfully, I'm a 6-foot tall guy. I was living out in the countryside. Everyone's very nice to me, so everyone knows me. Nothing's going to happen to me. I just got into the strange man's car, and we drove off to a stadium. And he's like, "All right, You're on the baseball team. I'm sorry, what happened? What do you mean I'm on the baseball team? He's like, you're an American. We figure you'd be very good at baseball. Oh, but I'm not. That's a talent that I do not have. And they found that out very quickly. Yeah. So the first pitch they sent to me absolutely struck out. And the guy was like apologizing. I'm sorry, I thought he was good at baseball. He said he liked baseball. I don't know anything about baseball. And they're like, all right, maybe you could pitch. Can't pitch. Maybe you could shortstop. Can't shortstop. So what they had me do was essentially come out, wave to everybody like I was a beauty pageant queen, introduce myself to a few people, and then sit on the bench the entire game. And they're like, he's going to be their secret key to victory. And then my team lost, and I was removed from the team, which was pretty much the optimal outcome for me. Everyone on the server says that they do not believe the life I've led. It's true. I have a very strange life. Circus performer come English teacher. All right. Oh, I'm getting to the hidden armory, which is... Okay, so, we just had some fights take place here, blah, 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 blah. And I believe... Yes. We've got Cascus here. I'm not going to give you the full rundown of this. If you are interested in the conversion, which it's more like it's interested in the underlying math behind Pathfinder 2e more than anything. Essentially, this is a really fun story. Players are just going back to rescue their benefactor from a bunch of pirate slavers, sort of, that has sent a group of boggards to go kill her because of her relation to her brother, which is another long story. And her brother is going to come into play later, and it's all this huge, long, complicated adventure path story. But I very much recommend it. You have room for VTT? Yeah. Let me think. Here's what I'll do. I'll toss in our the link to our server. We do have people that run Foundry games, I believe, and we're always happy to have more people. In the very least, we always have lots and lots of discussion going on. Let me get out a expire after 1 day, so no one's gonna come onto the server. Sneak it out. There we go. Boom. There's our Discord. We do all sorts of fun stuff there. Hey, hun. How you doing? Genki desu ka? Fukareta? Yeah, my wife's pregnant right now, so she's tired. Ato de ramen tabetai? Soro ii desu ka? Yep. Okay. All right. So, we're going to get some ramen later. Yes. Right now, our server, if you join up to the server... Hey, we got you. Oh, that was quick. I'll give you a little welcome. And I guess I just realized you're getting greeted by Chuck's terrifying face. That's a long story. But if ever you want to join into a Delta Green game, you're going to have to hear about the trash man who joined Delta Green and then drove a truck off a cliff and killed 2 children and a random passerby and himself. The story... Oh, wait. Is the Delta Green story open for everybody? I'm so curious. I never checked. Operation Fulminate. Yes! It's one of my favorite stories. It's so good. I cry when I think about it. I rolled a natural 1 to get out of prison. Oh, God. Yeah, our server runs so many games. And I do believe we have a few people that are doing... not 100%. We have some people that are doing Foundry stuff. So, all cool people. Very good. What we do have, I think... What you're seeing is general chat, society chat, recruitment, and our creative section. Oh, and probably, yeah. So this will... Recruitment is where the games go. And Lord all friggin' mighty, Risky's got so many people signed up for that. Society of Friendly Trespassers. Risky's been putting a lot of work into their homebrew game. I'm curious to see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know if when people do Foundry, but you can always. Oh Lord, all you have to do is toss into recruitment chat. Hey, anyone doing a Foundry game? And before you know it, like 27,000 people will explode and say like, yeah, let's do it like this, and or at least one Tomb Raider and one Slozar, who you'll get to know very well. They are fun people. Most badass sacrifice. Well, geez Louise, you gotta read the Delta Green game now. You go down... if you have a ridiculous amount of time on your hands, Operation Fulminate is perhaps the best sacrifice I've seen out of good old Garbage Man Truck, also known as Agent Dick. We did not do well with code names in that. We didn't do well at all in that whole operation, but it was fun. All right. Oh man. This part of conversion is going to be frustrating. Unfortunately, Wounded Druid didn't know about the magic missile trap. As fortune would have it, the dwarf stabilized naturally at -7 points. That's a 3.5 thing. I want to look up the dying rules. Want to look up the dying rules real fast. All right, because stabilizing. How long can somebody stabilize? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Hit points and dying. Knocked out and dying. All right. So, if your condition... Yeah, there we go. Unconscious with 0 hit points. Easy peasy. All right. And you know what? We'll toss in Wounded on that. A magic missile trap, once word of the coffer. Still fine. Can keep all that. As fortune would have it, the dwarf stabilized naturally. And is now unconscious at 0 hit points. And wounded 1. Easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey. Alright. Change some stuff around. Third column. 5th paragraph. Change. As fortune would have it. Okay. A paladin with a halberd and a polearm master. It was the... Yeah. I do love the story with the only survivor, or the noble sacrifice, back in 4th edition. And it is weird to think of noble sacrifice or even like badass moves in 4th edition, because 4th edition was very weird. I had a player that there was a tower crumbling, there was a lich inside, and he was like, well, we can't destroy the phylactery, but I can hold it to my very dying breath at the bottom of this tower, collapse the tower and escape. And that poor Warforged paladin, it made it all the worse because Warforged, he essentially was just down there alive still the whole time, clutching this phylactery of the lich. And we ended the campaign with that. So I've always said to my players, someday we'll go back to that tower and we'll find the long forgotten Warforged paladin of Bahamut. 4th edition was a very weird game. If you've ever played it, you might know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I recommend it for like 1, 2, maybe 3 sessions. And then you might go like, all right, I see what it's doing. Maybe it is for you, maybe it's not. Probably not. It's a very strange one. Yeah, exactly. He had a very tragic death. He had a very tragic end in that he was just down there at the bottom of this basement forever. His name was Relic. And interestingly enough, they found him in a similar position when the game started, is that he had a trident pierced through an undead, and he had kind of like powered down, so to speak, and he's like, no, I must stay here and hold the trident in, and they, pull it out and they fight, and you have saved me from my fate. Now I will travel with you. It was such a fun game. I had to homebrew the hell out of 4th edition to make it less 4th edition. It's not a bad system. It wasn't the system for me, is what I have to say. All right. Fortune. All right. The dwarf stabilized, and huge credit to Keith Baker, creator of Eberron. That is without a doubt my favorite setting. It's such a shame the people that are converting the setting to Pathfinder 2nd edition. Just not a terrible job, but just going so abysmally slow. I say doing this very slowly. I don't think that's ever going to get finished. We have a remaster coming. It's been 4 years. Yikes. I don't know who would trust Yuan-Ti to begin with. We're the Yuan-Ti. We're the snake people, known for treachery and deception. You seem like nice people. I'll join your quest. I haven't used Yuan-Ti enough. Even when I played a bunch of 3.5, I really didn't use them enough. I always wanted to. I guess I always consider them too smart for me to play. What am I doing? Okay, there. Whoa. There we go. 2. Never met or yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of Yuan-Ti. You shouldn't know who they are, kind of thing. It shouldn't be like, oh, these tricky snake people. You should be like, oh, well, of course. Oh my God, I'm going to help you with whatever this problem is. All right, let me write this real fast. As fortune would have it, the dwarf was able to stabilize and is now unconscious at 0 HP, 0 hit points, and is wounded 1. Boom. All right, now we've got that in Pathfinder terms, so players can be all heroic and medicine him up, and then they get their. We have the stats here on the next page. Cool. And then we've got his stat block here, which, if you've seen he watched his friend die from poison, his other pierced by ice knife. Yeah, I like those tragic stories. And, sometimes stories that happen in the middle of a game become the impetus for another to begin. Or, to NPC a character. That's always kind of interesting. All right, let's get to page, I believe this is 39, double check. 40, there must have been an ad between these. So many, if you've ever read the old Dragon and Dungeon magazines, boy, they got really ad-filled at the end. Unfortunately, Paizo did explain that. I was like, yeah, what can you do? What can you do? We need the money. We're a magazine in the year 2006. Who's buying magazines in the year 2006? All right. Cascus Q with the I don't know why I keep writing replaces Raplace or Rapless. The following stat block. All right, I do believe that we've made a Cascus Keel stat block. Let me pull that up. Boop, boop. Wait a minute. Yes, I did. All right. Yeah. Okay. Hey, interesting. I didn't mean to. I'm gonna have to fix this. I think I can fix this real fast. I'm gonna should just pull it up on stream, so that I'm not just talking silently, and you can see my my Photoshop in time. Very little, very small problems, and I say very small. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be very lazy. I'm not even going to bother too much. I just don't like these little things. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I didn't... Oh, you know what I was going to be? Is I was going to give Cascus Keel... Oh. Yeah, I wanted to give each of the NPCs one little extra something that they can carry on to adventures later, and his being loyal protector is an odd one. because he's a druid. But I kind of like it being odd. All right, I think I'm all right with this. So the role that Cascus Keel plays in this adventure, is he is essentially a MacGuffin to grab. We got to, he's in objective. Save this. And he has no spells. He's cast all of his spells, and he helps out with guidance, produce flame, scatter scree, tame. Oh, right. I wanted to give him a little something extra. Anyway, little something extra. Battle ended his burning from overusage. Interesting. I'm not exactly certain what's going on with that one. All right, here we go. Switching around. Okay. Put up the Cascus Keel stat block. Insert. Upload from computer. Cascus. Where is he, Cascus? There he is. There. Now we've got our little guy that helps us out. A little guy. He's just a little guy. It's his birthday. Oh. I still have coffee. I'm going to grab a little bit of coffee real fast. I'll be right back. I could mute this, but I'm not going to. You're going to hear me pour coffee in the other room. Okay. I hear lukewarm coffee is very bad for your teeth, which might explain why I have to get a root canal every week. All right, Cascus Keel. Cool. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been playing role-playing games for like 25 years. But I can't think of too many characters, as I've mostly been GMing. Here's the reason he wasn't doing it at Righteous Pure Rage. Got it. Okay. Yeah. I don't know that I've done much like that to my players, though. Oh, I have to change the treasure. Real fast. None of my characters really stand out to me in terms of... most of my GMs were like, we're going to stop after level 2. Because being a GM is tough, and it's easy to get burnt out very early on. So I have lots of GMs that would do that. Second paragraph. Change treasure. All right. If you have not seen this stream before, treasure is a whole big old mess. It's just a mess of stuff to do. So we save that to the very end of the conversion process to do treasure. Oh, it's been a while. I'm gonna toss this if you're interested in it. That was my first actual, but I broke out a shot because if you cool. Yeah, that's good. I think having a big moment like that to facilitate role-playing is really healthy. And also gives you something to latch onto for later when you're having trouble role-playing. Because I've been in situations where it's like, I don't know what my character would do here. And you can think about how they've acted in the past to sort of help push you along into the correct response of that character without altering who they are. It's very... I love role-playing games. It's one part theater, one part storytelling. It's also good. I think we've got... Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Oh, do I have more treasure to deal with? I do, don't I? This is, by the way, I just tossed a link in. This is our Google Drive. We've got all the conversion process so far. The only thing it's lacking, which is something legally I cannot do, is it's lacking the adventure itself from 2006. That said, if you are looking for that adventure, someone reach out to me if you're looking for a way to get a hold of this adventure, because it is 15 years old. I don't think you can really buy these anymore from Paizo, and it's kind of hard to get them on eBay or something like that. eBay. Who's using eBay? Reach out to me. Yeah, it is best when you make your first... when you are... It's a conscious role-playing decision and not a mechanically, I feel like this is the most interesting. It's way you have much more connection to the character when you have a story that grew naturally, rather than a story that you created and then you're like recalling back. Like you don't have an actual connection to that. So yeah, I think that's great. All right, I got to do more treasure. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Second column. Wow, I missed all of those words, all those letters. Third paragraph. Change treasure. Lord Almighty, this is gonna be. I think I have a bunch of treasure coming up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy paste this. I'm not. Hello, welcome. I am always surprised when. I should change the volume of that, like somebody following. Hello and welcome. I don't know what that voice was. I feel like that's a stereotypical GM. You have entered into a tavern. Hello and welcome, friends. That my wife would make fun of. Somewhere on my wife's Instagram or TikTok is a video of this side-by-side comparison of me GMing a game and her watching it, where I'm like, and thus, with a final mighty bellow, the dragon slumps to the ground, and it cuts to her watching, like, what the hell is he doing? Imagine if his god allowed him to use Divine Smite with his fist, and every time he punched it, takes away his own and starting himself. I feel like that was a thing. I feel like that was a thing in 3rd edition. It's been a while since I played 3rd edition, but yeah, I like that. I've got to do this. I've got to do this again. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Second column. All this treasure is a real pain. Boop. If you have ever converted an adventure, let me tell you, treasure is one of those things that people overlook. It is a huge pain in the ass to convert treasure. I don't know why I whispered that. I've been swearing this entire time. All right. Treasure. Yeah. 4 bullywugs are cut down. A valiant effort. Strange-looking crossbows, in fact, a +1 recruit. I just got to do it again. And more treasure. More weird treasure to convert. +1 repeating crossbow, though, is likely just going to stick around. That seems like an easy conversion. Third, so I try and do all of the treasure conversion off stream because it's not interesting. But this time around, looking at my time, I'm not going to be able to do that this time on this stream. I've only got about 30 more minutes before I have to go get some ramen with my wife. Say it like it's a bad thing. I'm excited to do that. What was I thinking? Yeah, I'd love to do. I might do treasure conversion in the next stream. Might do that on the next stream. Boggard Swamp Seers. I don't think I want them. Battle of Death Massive Treasure. Wait, what? So what you're saying, the old heat metal, and I'm gonna yeah. I had a lot of players that would do shenanigans. So back in 3rd edition, I had a buddy who said, I'm gonna use sand. I'm gonna throw sand in people's eyes. Level 1 rogue, throw sand in people's eyes, and I'll blind them, and then I can sneak attack them. And I was like, that's really clever. I like that. And I said, sure, it's like a touch attack against their armor class, against their touch AC. And then if it on a success, they're blind. Not really thinking like where this could go, because hearing those rules, I think as a GM now, I'd go, uh-oh, I've made a mistake. So my buddy was like, so wait, it counts as an attack? Yeah. So I can take like weapon focus for it? Yeah. And if I have multiple attacks, I can like sand and stab? Yeah, wow, we're making a fun build here. And he's like, cool. And as they got higher level, he'd be like, actually, instead of sand, could I just like grind up silver so it's like silver shavings in their eyes and it like lacerates their eyes? And I was like, yeah, I guess. and our campaign was mostly humanoid enemies. In the game, essentially, he walked himself into a very, very powerful way of constantly having sneak attack and constantly neutering enemies. Um, so I would like to cast Heat Metal, but he's not wearing metal. Puts coins in Bandit's mouth. That would be an absolute for me. No but situation. No, you can't do it exactly like that, but I will allow you to make a grapple check. And using second edition, grab the guy and stuff coins in their mouth, one action. I might make it like, I'll give him a bonus. Like it's going to be a harder DC. Because not only are you grabbing them, you're opening their mouth and shoving coins in there. And then a 2 action, it's a 3 action activity altogether. Grab the guy, shove coins in his mouth at +2 DC. And then Heat Metal. Boom. And then the player goes, cool, I like this. I get to do my cool thing. It's within the rules. And also, there is like some ooh, is this going to work? Is this my thing? And then it gets to more fun shenanigans, because now that cleric is going to go, my athletics is not that good, but you know whose is? The barbarian. All right, barbarian, here's what I need you to do. I need you to run up and grab that dude and shove coins in his mouth. And now the strategies just get weirder and weirder, but they're all still within the rules that are fun and interesting. That's kind of how I do that sort of stuff. Now I'm trying to think, my player who wanted to throw sand in people's eyes. Now I'd make it obviously reflex save, and the blind condition would just be until they rub their eyes, because I was making it permanent. It was awful. Excuse me. Oh, that coffee. What am I doing? Yes, treasure. Good. Treasure. Bullywug Hunters. I said we're changing these. Okay. To Swamp Seers. 2 Swamp Seers hanging out. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. I want to make it short. This is area 20 up here. They move out in the balcony. Okay. Yeah. One small problem with what I've written, which is, if the alarm is raised, they move out into the balcony to watch for intruders. 21. Oh, okay, no, that's fine. Sorry, I was making sure. If they joined out here, this fight would go from moderate to, potentially extreme, which is not what I want. Not what I want at all. Double checking. 21 balcony, good. Nobody else is there. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to say replace. Yeah, I love having run morally ambiguous role-playing games, or morally ambiguous parties through, anything. I love that sometimes the threat of what the power of a GM of a character can do is always good. One thing as a GM I do remember that I like to keep in mind is magic exists in the world, and people with power and money tend to be able to afford that magic. It's just all right, we've captured this prince. We can kill him, bring him back, or we can speak with dead with him. Doesn't matter. And it's just going to be, the prince is just going to be you really think that's going to work? Yeah, by all means, kill me. Make speak with dead with me. Go for it. You get what you want. But they're just going to resurrect me, and then they're going to hunt you down. And then it just comes into this this sometimes it becomes this game of imaginary cops and robbers, where it's I shot you. No, I shot you. I have a super gun. I have a shield that blocks through it. Players going we'll disintegrate the body. Well, all right. Well, they're they could be scrying on you right now. Old scry and fry existing was always fun. Never pulled it against my players, but God, I was tempted to. What I'm gonna do? I'm getting lazy. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. So it is third column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. I just heard the sound of a circus nearby. And I think my wife is hanging out and watching some weird stuff. 6th paragraph. They are Trubglorps. Yeah, Trubglorp Hunter 2. Alright. So what we did, we put in these Boggard Swamp Seers because really, we need to start getting some more interesting, fun combats in here. Yes. What do I want to call these? I don't think we actually we don't. Yeah, whatever. These are fine. I'm going to call them shamans. Yeah, I mean, even the core rulebook says if your players give you some very interesting roleplay, give them the advantage, knowing full well that +5 is way too much. Typically, I like to say instead of advantage in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, +2, easy peasy, or the -2 if you really fuck things up. I do love to reward my players for good role playing. Not saying that they don't do it enough. I just love to see more. Right now on the play-by-post server, it does get to be a little tricky to get like all that that in the moment I think that's some good role playing. Take like a full day to think about it between them. Like, make the intimidation check. That's fine. That's fine. All right, cool. That is page 40 done. Nice. We're kind of not breezing through it, but we're getting there. I'm still hoping that Nick Logue will get back to me, because I still have some questions about this, like sort of the development process of these APs back then. I am interested in that sort of stuff. I should actually check my email. Not going to check that on stream, though. Oh, yeah. These. So the flow of this adventure is very odd. The players will be entering through here. They're looking for Lady Lavinia Vanderborn. She's right up here on the 3rd floor. 2nd floor for the English folks. Why did Nick Logue is not English? Why did he do it like that? Maybe the map designer did. Anyway, at the very basement, we're going to be going down to the basement here. There is one of the Jade Ravens. Yeah, I think revival as a threat is amazing. It's also, if you're one of those sadistic DMs, it's also a very good way for very clever villains to get out of things. Staging a bunch of murders and also staging your own murder as one of them, knowing that you're going to have an associate come and revive you later. Cool. Which is also why now in 2nd edition, Resurrection and Raise Dead and the like are moved to rituals and are uncommon or rare. My players had so many shenanigans. The second they got access to Resurrection or True Resurrection, and I should qualify. In 3.5, I made a house rule that things that costed experience didn't cost experience. And that was a bad house rule, because that just meant those players just had a ball. Oh, crap, there's no penalty for dying except for some money, and money means nothing? Yeah, we're just going to go crazy. I mean, we had a barbarian. This whole build was just like run in, get in, one massive attack, die, get resurrected after combat. That was in Age of Worms, which is the prequel. The prequel. It's not a prequel. It came before Savage Tide, and it gets referenced in this exact adventure. Anyway, I want to make sure. There's nothing else I need here. 5e Zealot Barbarian gets free. I think even Matt Mercer said it, where he's like, once you introduce the idea that death is something that can be surmounted, it becomes something that will be surmounted. It's sort of like Chekhov's gun. You introduce the idea that it's not a big deal, it becomes less of a big deal. That said, I also agree with the idea that you should be able to revive somebody, and I often make it just a little bit more of a hassle to do so. Muddy floors, difficult to walk in, treated difficult terrain. Don't even have to change that. Yep. Or even, you could do even other stuff. One of my favorite responses is inevitables. Both in Pathfinder and D&D, the inevitables are the greatest. They're beings of pure law that eternal war against chaos. Yes. More importantly, I was hoping there we go. Kolyrits, I believe, are the ones that stop those who keep abusing the cycle of life and death. So they come and they're like, hey, look, dude, you cannot keep doing this. Sorry, you gotta go. And then they just we're finishing you off for good. That itself makes for an awesome, awesome time. It makes for an adventure all its own. You're being hunted down by the forces of law, or even you're mistakenly being hunted down by the forces of law. Maybe there's somebody out there who has assumed your identity. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do. I love the inevitables. They're awesome. Anyway. I'm trying to see if there's anything here that I need to convert. Search can. Chief Lord has decided a little fun. Pet monster Chunkus. Still the best name. Liame Teslacaria. One of the Jade Ravens. Yes. I don't think we need to change anything here. Chunkus. Okay, this is down to 3 spoons of yeah, all right. So she's got her last spell, which is Charm Person, and I think I've got her pulled up over here. Hold on, I've got it. There we are. I'm looking for where I put Liame Teslacaria. Oh, I gave her the very, very, very powerful ability. All right, here's what I got to do. I have to make a few of these before I start into putting it in the dock. With 10 minutes left before I'm about to head out, this is probably all we're going to be doing today. NPCs. Oh, writing her name is always difficult. Liame Teslacaria. All right. She is set up to be kind of a recurring hero, a recurring character in our story. And she's a good one. She is, in a way, also set up to be a romantic love interest. Whether or not that actually happens for your players, entirely up to the GM, of course. If I do run this, and I really would like to, my dream is to run this on the stream itself, now that I think about it. If I ever find the time, boy, that'd be fun. I would kind of lean into her looking for a way out of the adventuring life. I think she's the newest member of the adventurers. All right. There we go. Sorry, I'm just in Photoshop right now. Dibs on being my first player. Let me tell you, there have been a lot of dib calling. There's been a lot of dibs calling on the server. By all means, I will. Likely what I'll do is I'll toss a recruit up on the server and go from there. And I imagine that would be an insane fucking battle for that one. Okay, that would be really. It would be a lot of fun to do this. Grab Foundry, run this on the stream. All right, let me change one thing. Cast Charm Person. Change that to Charm. What paragraph? 1, 2. Okay, really interesting. All right. Second column, second paragraph. How'd you feel if that happens with the zealot? And sorry, yes, I was in the middle of photoshopping. So he keeps fighting him when he's dead. Pissed off, right? Yeah. For me, I think I might play liches differently. Is what I should say. Like, I think my liches tend to be beyond, like, anger or frustration or sadness, disappointment, fear, or anything like that, just because they're like, it's not that they're emotionally dead, it's just that they're tired of those things. They've been around for, like, centuries, thousands of years, and it's just like, oh, I can't kill you. Huh. I think my lich would be more interested in this. Like, huh, you can't die. I'm going to teleport out. I'll be right back. And I'm going to find a way to use your body. Like, neat. I'm going to come back with a soul jar and there's soul gem and let's figure out how you work. Like, my liches are less like monsters to be overcome than wow, this is the first time I got a message from somebody that I hadn't seen in a long time. Oh well. My liches would more be like they're more forces of nature in that it's just like, wow, huh? You can't die. That's the coolest thing in the world. Interesting hero. Time stop, teleport, come back with a bunch of like manacles and chains, and like, all right, I have to figure out what's going on with you. I'll take a couple 100 years, see what happens. Yeah, rage beyond death. I mean, yeah, that shit's fascinating to a lich, and that a lich, I guess. I mean, what? There's got to be like what, 10 or so level 14 barbarians in the world, sort of thing. So they'd be like, oh, maybe I've heard about such a thing. I'd love to learn more. I don't enjoy liches as like, and then at the bottom of the tower or the bottom of the dungeon is a guy that's very powerful and can't die. I more like it as like, oh yeah, I became a lich so I could just keep being a nerd and studying things. And thus I that Faustian bargain of like, oh, and also there was no point to any of this. It's just I continue, and that sucks. Charm. Wait, is it charm person she's got? Yeah, charm person. Two. Charm. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up the last two. Yeah, I'm gonna change a few of these things, and then I'm gonna end the stream. All right. Replace. Sadly. Yeah, I often think about immortality. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like that would be such a fun encounter for players, especially if like they're going through expecting to go kill this lich, and then there's an ancient legend that they heard about back when they were growing up, and they're like, wait, you're still alive? And you're working with a lich, and you're like, hear me out. He's kinda cool. And yes, I'm also still... It's like meeting Elvis and he's been hanging out with Hitler. Like, what? What? Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love that. And that's a fantastic story right there. Not the fantastic Elvis and Adolf Hitler story. Something else. But the Lich and the Barbarian. I just realized I have to change ELs. Oh god, let me just write this down later so I don't forget. Change ELs. I forgot. Whoopsie. Doopsie. Whoopsie doopsie. There we are. With the following stat block. I got so chatty. All right, here is our Chief Lorpth stat block. He's going to be tricky. There's a very good Lich. One of my favorite Lich encounters is in an adventure path that Paizo wrote, in which it's a big gathering of poisoners and the lich is just hanging out talking with a she's a well, what's the word? She dyes wool, and she was there. She was there for manufacturing lye, and she's like, "Oh my god, I thought this was a different convention." And the lich is just talking to her casually, and she has no idea. She's just like, and what kind of dye do you like? And the lich is like, I enjoy all sorts of dye. I prefer when my enemies die. And she's like, oh, fascinating. Well, I don't have many enemies. I just like to make scarves. It's just a very fun, like, Abbott and Costello bit. The Pathfinder Love Story between the Paladin and the Succubus. That, I believe, is that, there's a few of them. There's a few of them. My first thought goes to the one that was done in the Wrath of the Righteous game. You're trying to distract me from putting in these stat blocks, but yeah, I feel like there's a few. There's I wish one of the lore people was in here. If I've forgotten her name, the Lich Queen, Arishalay? Yes, I want to say yes, but probably no. Yeah. Oh, wholesome. Let me do these real fast. Replace Leah May Tesla. Oh my god. How do I spell her name? Tesla Caria with the following stat block. There we go. I gave her a bullshit ability, but I want it to be useful. Because it really isn't likely to pull this off. Actually, no, it's not likely. Leah May Tesla Caria. So she's got the ability, as a meta magic once a day, of her next action is to cast a spell from the enchantment school, lose the incapacitation trait, which essentially gives her a somewhat decent shot. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dear me. Dear me, dear me, dear me. Boggart Scouts. That's what I'm doing. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Chunkus. Third. Okay. Third column. Third paragraph. I'm sorry if I'm going real quick on this one. I am. Damn that D&D movie telling everyone about the Red Wizards of Thay. I do love the Red Wizards, and I don't think they were poorly represented in the movie or anything. I think they were great. I just like the Red Wizards when they win. As somebody who played a Red Wizard back in 3rd edition, probably before 3A. Change this to Chunkus. And we're gonna look up Rust Monster real fast. There we go. Woo, my computer going slow. Oh, I think it's just Nethys being Nethys again. Nethys. Level 3. I can feel my wife's hunger. I can feel it through the walls. Rust Monster. 283. Rust Monsters, I feel like they need to get represented more. I love Rust Monsters. They're so good. And... oh, she's moving. Oh, no. I can feel her coming. Is there such a thing? Yeah, there are good liches. Maybe not in Pathfinder, now that I say it out loud. There are good liches in Forgotten Realms, for certain. That one I definitely remember. There are elven liches, and I know they also have them in Eberron because of the, again, elves who worship their ancestors, which is really cool. I'm passively nerding out. There we go. Let's get these again. But there are good liches. It's just the problem is, I think after several centuries, you'd more tend towards evil because it's not selfishness so much as it is just like an uncaring, unflinching opinion towards life. You're like, well, what do they matter to me? What does any of it matter? I've seen people come and go. So I think it's very difficult to be a good lich just because, like, morally, like, in a morality sense, like, nothing matters so much to you anymore. Trebwarp Hunters. 2. And we are putting them with scouts. How many scouts? 3. I've kept them with 3. This is a big fight. I have to look at the math again. All right. Good. Man, oh man. That's going to be a lot for me to take in. But I'm actually 2 minutes over my time, and I can hear my wife getting ready for some food, and my stomach is growling. I will pick up this... Oh, there was my stomach again. Yeah, we only have a little bit more to convert for this adventure, and that includes the treasure. But yes, I will have to head off. But thank you for joining me, and I hope that you have a good time on the server. I'll be around, obviously. That server, I'm there 24/7-ish. All right, everybody, thank you very much, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.